Governance is all about how a society organizes itself to make decisions, exercise power, and manage resources in a accountable and transparent manner. Under democratic governance, people are elected into leadership, and these leaders are expected to effectively represent the interests of the people. While at it, they are to ensure equitable provision and distribution of basic amenities, making sure development reaches every nook and cranny of the nation, particularly the grassroots. For a developing country like Nigeria, governance is a big deal, and one bad leg in the tripod of governance can stall socioeconomic growth and hamper good governance. On this edition of the program, we'll be looking at a line of officers in local governance, the councillors. How effective are they in carrying out their roles and responsibilities to bring governance closer to the people? I'm Ogochukwu Kaona. This is Dateline 360. Thanks for tuning in. We begin with an overview of Nigeria's democratic system, and Ekene Ndule has the details we should know from the origins to operations of local governments and the place of councillors.
In a true democracy, power belongs to the people, but how that power is felt begins at the grassroots, where local governments meets community needs head-on.
One of the most widely adopted systems of government is representative democracy, where citizens elect leaders to make decisions and pass laws on their behalf. Unlike direct democracy, where citizens vote on every issue, representative democracy allows elected officials to act on behalf of the people, creating a more manageable system in large and diverse societies like Nigeria. The strength of representative democracy lies in its structure and the active role of citizens. From the political party level, citizens can shape ideologies, choose candidates, and participate in primary elections. Representation begins at the ward level, where councillors are elected to speak for local communities. These voices rise to the local government councils, state legislatures, and even the National Assembly. Each level amplifies the people's voice, ensuring that governance is not distant but rooted in the needs of the grassroots. The journey of local government in Nigeria began with the 1914 amalgamation, when indirect rule was introduced under British colonial authority. Over time, this evolved from native authorities in the 1930s to reforms in the 1950s. But the most significant transformation came with the 1976 Local Government Reform Act, which made local governments the third tier of governance, closer to the people than ever before. However, Nigeria's journey has not been without interruption. Successive military coups weakened representative structures. Elected local councils were dissolved. Power became centralized, and grassroots participation eroded, undermining citizens' sense of ownership. Yet, in a true representative democracy, local governments are crucial. They are the first responders to the people's needs, managing basic education, primary health care, local roads, and sanitation. At the center of local governance are the councillors, elected from wards. They are the closest link between government and the people, ensuring that voices from the grassroots are heard and development truly reaches the people.
From 1980 to 1990 was then when local government was functioning. From that time to date, governors have never allowed them to work.
At its best, local government empowers citizens, giving them a direct stake in governance. Historically, when allowed to function properly, Nigerians used these platforms to organize, speak up, and build. Now, what do Nigerians feel about representation at the ward level.
I do not even know the ward councillor in my area, so I do not even know if I'm being represented well.
Before they can even get the allocation, the state government will collect everything. So there is nothing like work over there. But if you go to local government secretariat, it be like where the fowl is sleeping or something like that. They are not working, nothing.
There are lots of local governments in Benue State today that have not seen the government's improve on them.
Apparently, that seems to be the experience of most Nigerians. However, political analysts argue that when governance is effective at the local government level, democracy thrives. With recent autonomy granted to local governments by the current administration, there is renewed hope that governance at that level will be strengthened. For Dateline 360, I am Ekene Ndulwe.
From Ogbomoso, Abiodun Babalola lists excessive party loyalty, emergence of unqualified elected councillors, lack of citizens' engagement, and lack of funds as some factors rendering councillors ineffective in local governments. But should lack of funds be an issue now that the federal government directly releases funds to local governments? Let's hear from Abiodun.
There is no gainsaying that ward councillors participate actively in making laws and policies for local governments and, more importantly, assisting the community in identifying needs and priority areas of development. Constituents are also expected to interact with councillors about the projects they are in need of and not the ones the politicians bring to them, which may not serve their direct needs.
In the past, the councillor was just like a member of House of Assembly at the local government level. The councillors were there to meet as a legislative body to make bylaws.
Filling their pulse, what they need, what they lack, and whatever. Then they will now gather all these information, what their people need, and take it to the local government. So by the time the local government will now sit down and now plan their budget for the year, all these their views and their requisition, they will now put it in place in making the budget that they want to do for them.
Efforts to speak with some ward councillors to comment on the alleged limited financial autonomy, political influence, and lack of funds for oversight functions which hamper efficiency were unsuccessful. And so the constituents are not happy with the abysmal performance of the current ward councillors in assessing community needs, allocating local resources, and making decisions on local policies and services as required by the Constitution.
In those days, when you talk of councillors, everybody within the locality is familiar with them. But this time around, I've never met at any fora councillors discussing political matters or people even talking about them.
We have not been feeling the impact of our councillors. We don't even know them. The traders always contribute money to take care of our needs in the markets. We have visited the local government council for support, but nothing has been done.
However, the need to empower ward councillors with increased funds to meet community demands, addressing infrastructure deficits, and delivery of public services optimally is critical.
Most councillors today are selected, not elected. And that is why they don't hold any sense of responsibility. They don't feel themselves accountable to the members of the community in their ward. Rather, they curry the favor of the leaders, either at the party level or at the government level, who really make sure that they are selected.
There's supposed to be a kind of check and balances that if a councillor is not performing well, the people at the grassroots can recall it, though we know it is there in the rules and regulation, I mean the electoral law, that if somebody is not performing very well, they can vote that person out.
Let government tackle the problem headlong by reducing the power and the grip of the states over the local councils.
Nigerians are calling for the execution of the recent Supreme Court ruling mandating direct funding for local governments to improve accountability and efficiency for development. They are also stressing the need for better citizens' engagement to foster community participation and bring government closer to the people. For Dateline 360, Abiodun Babalola.
A lot has been said about councillors and their roles in effective governance, as well as the role of people in ensuring that. Hawa Gimba brings us more on the roles of councillors in grassroots development in Buhari Area Council of the Federal Capital Territory.
At the heart of grassroots democracy are councillors, the elected representative closest to the people. Here in the Federal Capital Territory, they form the backbone of local governance, tasked with lawmaking, oversight and ensuring community needs are met. Councillors are elected representatives of their wards, forming the legislative arm of local government councils. In the Federal Capital Territory, there are 6 area councils and 62 wards, represented by 62 councillors. Their mandate is to ensure effective and accountable governance at the grassroots. They debate issues, pass local bylaws, and make resolutions on matters such as sanitation, land use, and the regulation of markets.
Of the budget, the executive prepares the budget, submits to the legislative, who scrutinize. Sometimes we invite the various set of departments to come and then defend their budget, and then after that, we pass it back to the executive chairman for assent, and then it becomes a law.
Area council, or let me say our communities in our various wards, definitely we are lacking of good roads.
Councillors also monitor the activities of local government chairmen and officials, ensuring that policies and projects are popularly executed and that public funds are managed.
We need more achievement from them, so we want them to do more, especially to the youth.
I'm not that too deeply into politics and knowing about them, but I know some are trying. They are the very best.
Despite these vital responsibilities, local governments and councillors face serious challenges that hindered their effectiveness.
We are lacking of good water. There are still interior villages that I will tell you today that whenever they drink water, that is where cattle come to drink water.
The problems of the people are more at the grassroots level. So if power and more resources have been allocated to the people now, to the government, at the local government, we find that most of our problems will be solved. Even the problem of insecurity that we face today, if you trace it back, you find that most of this problem begins from the family. From the family, it goes to the community. From the community, you talk of ward and maybe local government. So if money or a lot of attention and resources are channeled to the local government, the issue of insecurity will be reduced to the barest minimal.
Observers note that many local governments suffer from a shortage of skilled and qualified personnel, often due to political interference in recruitment and promotion. This lack of capacity undermines their ability to deliver essential services and execute projects effectively. Effective grassroots governance depends on empowered and accountable councillors. Strengthening their capacity and independence may be key to ensuring that local government truly serve the people. Hawa Gimba for Dateline 360.
In some environments, it's mixed feelings for residents, while some say they hardly know who represents them or what has been achieved in their wards. Others are abreast with their activities. Let's hear from Becky Greatman Chukwuka in Asaba, Delta State.
Bustling streets, busy traders, and the everyday rhythm of life in Asaba. Yet, beneath the vibrancy lies a quiet question: who truly represents the people here at the local government level? For many, councillors appear distant, visible during campaigns, but rarely heard from once elected. In Oshimiri South and Onitsha South local government areas, residents struggle to recall who their councillors are. Some can mention their names but know little or nothing about their activities.
I don't even know anything about any projects. Yes.
Some residents acknowledged a few minor projects executed by their councillors but expressed the desire for greater impact and visibility.
His name is Chinwoku from Abonta, and the boy has done so well. I have not benefited, but people that have benefited have said it.
I know my councillors very well. We have two councillors. We have Kelvin Wambuize, Honorable Kelvin Wambuize, and Ike Chuku Egonu. And these are young men who are under 40. They've been impressive. They communicate, they interface with the community, and if any issue arises, like we are prone to flooding, they try to interface with the ministries that will have the responsibility to take care of those internally displaced persons.
Analysts say at the heart of the issue lies citizen participation. They note that many residents do not follow local government affairs, focusing instead on state or federal politics alone. At this interest that they warn encourages poor performance and lack of accountability at the grassroots.
The responsibility of a councillor, one, is to represent the people of his ward at the local government level. Then two, interpret government policies, whether at the federal level or at the state level. But in most cases, we find it difficult to see a councillor coming to assemble his people to, one, have a meaningful dialogue with his people, then two, take their view to the legislative arm of the local government. Do they really do that? I doubt.
The councillors can play the roles of being a think tank to the executive chairman by thinking ahead for the chairman to propose legislation, to propose local government policies, like, for example, social intervention policies to enhance food production and food security.
Despite these challenges, some councillors are making positive contributions in their communities, engaging with residents, listening to their concerns, and working to address their needs.
My first tenure, I was able to do a couple of things. One, ensure that we got a new transformer after I single-handedly tried to fix the transformer myself in my community. Instead of taxing every community, every clan and family, I tried to attract the reconstruction of our existing market, which is presently ongoing.
If I know how many persons are on my payroll, from my pockets, both the youth and the women I shared funds together at the online market. The youth that I placed on monthly salary.
Our primary school, when I got there, the classes are there, the classroom is there, but there are no chairs. So I have been able to provide them with chairs. There's one portion of our roads that are not good. I was able to mobilize to grade it from the Share Road to the secondary school down to the city. So these are some of them.
One thing is clear: effective local governance thrives only where councillors are active, accountable, and connected to the people they serve. For democracy to truly deliver at the grassroots, both government and citizens must renew their partnership for sustainable development. For Dateline 360, Becky Greatman Chukuka.
At the heartbeat of grassroots development is the local government, due to the strategic position as the level of governance closest to the people. Nura Abdullahi Adili presents what the picture looks like in Sokoto State.
The 1976 Dasuki report gave birth to the establishment of local government system in Nigeria, conceived as the third tier of governance to ensure balanced and inclusive development across the country.
For any actor or institution or structure within the local government system to be effective and efficient in the discharge of local government councils, programs and policies, then there must be that independence. And that independence can only be guaranteed if state governors or state governments allow local government the opportunity to, as a matter of fact, initiate their own programs, generate their own revenue, and as a matter of fact, expand programs and projects that could facilitate development of various local communities and the grassroots communities that we have in Nigeria.
The local government system has undergone several reforms, evolving into a critical institution for promoting good governance and effective service delivery at the grassroots. In recent years, local government councillors have embarked on developmental projects such as the provision of water, electricity, healthcare facilities, and local access route, alongside other community-driven initiatives executed within their respective wards.
Councillors have a very big role to play because they are there to censor the executive council of local government areas. They are there to also push for those demands and the desires that are coming from the grassroots communities or from the people that they honestly speak and represent. Therefore, they are like a link between the states, in this context, the local government areas, and of course, the local communities that they honestly speak and represent. Therefore, they have an important role in any system of local government, especially in the context of policy making and implementation.
In Sokoto State, councillors and their chairmen in Wamoko, Shagari, Gudu, and Tureta local government areas says they have performed creditably in improving good governance and enhancing the welfare of their communities. However, some councillors attribute setback in local government administration to lack of autonomy and poor budget implementation, challenges that continue to hinder the smooth functioning of local government.
So hospital is to make sure that they have get a plan that will make this achievement to be successful. I'm calling the people to make that this hospital is not belong to government or anybody, it's belong to them.
We took a long time, more than 4 years, we don't have electrification here in Kimbulbi. That is why this government has give attention on to bring back with the electricity.
I call this our people to care with this transformer because government has needs anytime government do something to you, you have to be care with it.
Some residents of the benefiting communities acknowledged the presence of various projects in their areas and commended the effort of their councillors for positively impacting their life through developmental initiatives. Despite the challenges, local governments and their councillors continue to play a vital role in steering the affairs of their communities, serving as the closest link between government and the people at the grassroots.
To coordinate activities of the local government, leaders such as chairmen and councillors are elected for effective administration of various communities. And Shola Wahid in Kwara engages a councillor who reportedly appointed more than 100 aides. Let's see how well he is doing with that.
Representative democracy under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has witnessed a favorable shift from state government's dominance on local government allocations to complete autonomy, thereby creating avenue for developmental projects at the grassroots. For the councillor representing Ubandawaki Ward in Kwara State, Honorable Maruf Onibuoji, who is a graduate of the University of Ilorin, said local government autonomy has enhanced unprecedented development, especially in his ward.
Since the assumption of office, I have facilitated the innovation of Pakata Health Center. Then I have constructed some boreholes. I have given out scholarship to students.
He admitted that he has over 100 aides with a chief of staff, but added that they are all volunteers who are comfortable in their businesses and believe in him due to his humanitarian activities prior to his election as a representative councillor.
I have so many aides which they are working voluntarily. They are my friends, and majority of them doesn't even stay in Kwara. So, and there are people who are successful in their various businesses. They are graduates. So I don't pay them. They only support me based on the fact that we are friends and we have been together for a very long time. So they don't do it for the money. They do it for the passion and for the development of my ward.
This is voluntarily, because actually we have been doing this before he became a councillor. So when he became a councillor, so I see it as what we're supposed to do to help him to achieve what he wants.
The local government chairman and councillors were sworn into office in September 2024, and within a year, the grassroots has witnessed unprecedented development in Kwara State. In Ilorin, Shola Wahid reporting for Dateline 360.
Yes, councillors have their roles, but deliberate citizens' engagement that demands accountability fosters transparency and efficiency to the ward level. That's where we wrap it up on this edition. God bless you.